Welcome and thank you for coming to check out the EB-5 TEA Finder and Forecaster presented by Impact DataSource. I know it's crazy times out there in the world. Hope everyone is staying safe. Along with everything being crazy in general, the EB-5 program just had new rules that went into place in November of 2019, along with the impacts from the pandemic. And so we wanted to develop a new TEA tool to help people with their TEA analysis and kind of limit the amount of work you have to do to figure out if your project is in a TEA or not. So let's dig in real quick to the app, and basically it's kind of a one-step app, so you don't really no longer have to worry about dealing with TEA maps and doing any side calculations. The app will kind of take care of everything for you. All you need to do is plug in your address. So let's check out this Las Vegas address and see what the app says. So after you enter the address, it'll give you a quick result and tell you whether it works or not. So this one will let you know you have a quick success, that this address does currently qualify as a TEA for EB-5 program. You can click on this more details to get a little bit more, and I'll tell you why and how it qualifies. So this location qualifies based on a combination of tracks using the latest American Community Survey data, or ACS data. And ACS data is updated each December. And the nice thing about when you qualify under ACS data only is that you don't have to really worry about the COVID-19 impacts for a while, because that due to data lag, the impacts won't be picked up until December of 2021. So again, kind of depending where you are in the EB-5 process, if you have investors ready to go right away and you have a TEA that works, then you should be good to go. But if you're just starting to look at a new project, then it might look good now, but you want to do some additional analysis to see if it continues to looks like it will continue to qualify. So I'll go ahead and minimize this, and as always with anything, you can just email us. Let us take another look due to the nuances of the program and all the changes and everything. Always good to have an experienced economist take a look, and you also want to chat with your attorneys, other project stakeholders, to make sure everyone's on the same page with the TEA. So I'll minimize that, and let's take a look at the rest of the app. So real fast, you just enter in the address, and it gives you a whole bunch of good info. It'll go through an eligibility test to check if the MSA works, the county works, the single tract works, or if you have to get down to an adjacent tract combo. Here we have to get into a multi-tract combo. Under the new rules, you can only aggregate adjacent census tracts. So the app will automatically just limit and bring up all the adjacent census tracts that are adjacent to the project tract. Here, this location is in tract 7 of Clark County, and it's got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 adjacent tracts. It will also automatically pre-check any of them that are high unemployment tracts to kind of make the most optimized TEA that you can find. So again, just entering in the address, this will bring up all this for you. And then down here, it'll provide a nice summary table for you to show you all the tracts that are selected up here, all of the good labor force information. So this total area has a 14.8% unemployment rate under the ACS only method, where we have to hit an 8.9%. So this is a good bit above the threshold and looks like a pretty solid TEA. We can also look at another method, which is reasonable to assume that USCIS will accept based on the new rules. Census share is what all the states used to use, and so this will also you can click on this to check out the census share information as well. So with the same area, we get 8.6% where we need 5.6, so it looks pretty solid under census share as well. You can quickly click up and uncheck and check these tracks. So for this area, it's such a solid TEA, you don't really need all of these census tracts. You can actually only need this first one to make it work. If I uncheck this, then it would say uncertain. Check it back, and it shows a success. And the table down here will automatically update as you check and uncheck these tracks. So for this one, we don't really need all of them that are checked, but it makes a more solid TEA with a larger labor force, the more tracks we do check. So over here, you'll see a further trend analysis. So again, the nice thing about this location was that it works under ACS only. So we don't necessarily have to worry about COVID-19 impacts for a while, but if you do want to worry about COVID-19 impacts now for your TEA, depending on where you are in the process, and if you think it won't be a while before you have your investors, this tool will provide a whole bunch of good info, and we'll go through this more later. But you can see based on the graph, it looks like things are trending positively for TEA purposes in Las Vegas. And while it's positive for TEAs, Las Vegas has been hit pretty hard compared to the rest of the country. So we would expect the TEA rates to be a good bit above the threshold for TEA purposes. So let's check out a couple other addresses and see how the tool works further. So let's look at this Fort Lauderdale address. And as you type in, this will auto-populate, so you might find your address pretty quickly and just click on it. And we'll check this out. So on this one, unfortunately, it gives you a quick result that Fort Lauderdale, this location does not qualify at all. We click on the more details, and they'll just let you know that this census tract, we've analyzed it a bunch of different ways, and unfortunately, there's nothing that we can get to work based on the app. Again, email us, message us, and we're happy to take another look at it at any time. We can go through these eligibility tests down here, and none of them are working. We can take a look at the adjacent tracts, and all of them have very low unemployment. Again, these will be sorted in descending order by unemployment rate. So this one, this area and all the adjacent tracts have very low unemployment, so it doesn't look like we'd be able to get anything to work. And you can see all of the different possibilities are all well below the threshold line, looking at the tract and the county and the MSA. And again, the table down here has the details. And let's look at another address and go a bit more into the trend analysis. So let's look at this location, Wilmington, California, in Los Angeles County. And as we can see here, if we looks like this one has the third option. So the app will tell you whether it looks good or it doesn't, or if it's kind of uncertain. So this will let you know that this one is trending in the right direction, but it does not work under your typical TEA methods, which is the ACS only, and then the census share using the calendar year. But if it says that it could be trending in the right direction, and so that's when looking at these the different trend analysis over here. So what this is doing is slicing and dicing things, looking at not only the typical TEA method for census share, which is this calendar year, showing the 5.6% threshold rate for 2019, but we've got access to more recent data that reflects COVID-19 impact. So the app right now, the April 2020 data was just released. This is early June right now. So what we're looking at here, the table will also show a 12-month rolling average, 9-month, 6-month, 3-month, and then look at just April itself and compare the results to the respective national rates for those time periods. So you can see April is just a wild month. Unfortunately, the 150% threshold is 21.6% when looking at April only. So when we look at the graph here, the tracks are in orange. The calendar year typical census share method does not work. But if we look at a rolling 12 from May 2019 to April 2020, it does trend up and meet the threshold. The 9-month rolling average is just a little bit above. The 6-month is just right at it again, but we look at the 3-month and the 1-month, and it looks like it's starting to look a lot better and get above that threshold. So this is a location that looks like it's trending in the right direction to be a TEA. And we just want to keep an eye on things. Well, the data is released monthly, and we will be updating this app monthly and providing all new data each month. So next month, we'll show the rolling averages through May of 2020, and you can analyze that. So this one looks like this is one where you'd want to have a conversation with your economist and your attorneys and say, this looks like something we might want to move forward with, but get everyone on the same page. We can also click and see if maybe clicking on some additional tracks might help over here. It looks like we click on that next one down, and it moves the line down a little bit. So you can see as you click on further ones down, it's going to make things look worse. But looks like the best area we can get is these additional 2 adjacent tracks here. So that's kind of how the trend analysis works. So let's go through a few other things with the app. Again, not to get too much into the weeds, but if you want to click on the TEA FAQ button, this will take you to our blog, which has a couple blog posts, one about frequently asked questions about the new rules, and then also an FAQ about TEAs and COVID-19. So it's some good reading there if you want to get a bit more into the details if you have any questions. You can also, we're still going to update our TEA map, although this new tool really should be the main tool that you'll want to look at for analysis. But if you want to take a look at our address here and just see how it looks with all the census tracts, we can punch it in and just see how things look. So according to the app, there should be 2 high unemployment tracts that are adjacent to this one. So on our map, we should see, as we scroll out, 2 orange tracts that are touching this tract, and you can see that there are. So we've got the project tract, which is 2942, and these 2 adjacent tracts. We got 294110 and 294510. So taking a look back here, we should see that that's what's popping up here as the app is already pre-populated. And so things are looking good for this location. Some things about the map as well. If you want, you can go out and do look at the street level view. You can also up here type in just an intersection. If you don't have an exact address, you can type in an intersection, and I'll type in Central and Rock in Wichita, Kansas, where I grew up, and it'll take you to that location as well. And you can also just point and click on the map if you are kind of looking generally in certain areas, and you just want to know, how things are trending in certain areas and looking around. You don't have to have an address. Click around the map, and you can see it's updating over here and analyzing each location quickly as you point. So to wrap up, the TEA eligibility question is typically the first question that is asked about an EB-5 project, especially with the new thresholds being 900,000 and 1.8 million. We really think this app will be helpful for everyone to quickly ascertain if the location qualifies as a TEA, and then also how things might be looking in the future with. And also just to mention, there's good tool tips around the app as well that you can hover over to get a bit more. So to wrap up, I hope the app is useful for you as always. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email or give me a call, and I hope everyone is staying